Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gatswiri Muthara, Membership and Communications Coordinator with Compto National. We're going to give it a few seconds for some of our attendees to come in, and then we'll start in less than a minute. Thank you for joining us.
Should I mute my camera?
You're fine, Gwen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we can get started. My name is Gatswiri Muthara, Membership and Communications Manager with Compto National, and our Historically Underutilized Business Subcommittee presents to you today how to do business with LA Metro. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our industry partners. They are HNTB, AECOM, Jacobsen, and WSP. We'd like to thank them for their support of Compto throughout the year. Before we begin, I'd also like to include a few webinar housekeeping items. If you're experiencing any technical difficulties, please send a chat message to the host. To submit questions for the Q&A portion of the call, please use the Q&A box. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. This call is being recorded and will be made available to all attendees. And once again, thank you for joining us. Next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Gwendolyn Gray. Gwendolyn is our co-chair of the Hub Subcommittee. She's also a board member at large for the Compto National Board of Directors. She's also Vice President and Program Management Director at HNTB. I will now hand things over to Gwen.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your introduction, and thank you everyone for joining today. Today is an exciting time. We have LA Metro staff here to share information about how to do business with LA Metro. LA Metro is growing out here, and the community in Southern California is expanding. And as you know, we're preparing for the 2028 Olympics. So there are many opportunities that's going to be out here. So get certified if you're not certified. And if you are certified, please reach out to LA Metro and talk to the staff that you will meet today here. So I would like to introduce one of our first presenters, and thank you so very much. Olga López has been a professional career in the public service over the last 25 years. She has worked in local government and the national leading nonprofit organization that facilitate the full participation of Latinos in America political process, from citizenship to public service. Most recently, Ms. López has served the LA Metropolitan Transportation Authority for 18 years. Today, she serves as Senior Representative in the Strategic Business and Construction Career Service Unit within the Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department. Thank you. And our next presenter, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Licea. Dr. Licea is a dedicated public servant with a career spanning 30 years at the LA Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Throughout her career, Dr. Licea has worked in various capabilities in departments, including strategic department, communications, and administrative services. She is currently the director in the Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, responsible for certification and economic department. Thank you. And our next presenter, thank you. Jerry Jacobsen is the principal at LA Metro, responsible for post-awards compliance for over 1,000 activity contracts valued at more than $15 billion. Having worked for 4 concurrent design built mega projects, Mr. Jacobsen's responsible has ranged from small business goals established and board reports, strategic engagements with Metro primes and subcontractors to ensure project compliance. This is really great. We have some great presenters here today. So I hope everyone stay on through our duration. At the end, there will be questions and answers that will be provided for you to the presenters. So if you want to go to the next slide, we can start this presentation. Thank you. Olga, thank you.
Good morning, Gwendolyn. Thank you. Got query. Thank you so much for having us here today. It is definitely our pleasure to be in front of your network and share with you what Metro's process is and requirements for how to do business with LA Metro. Thank you. Next slide, please. As Gwendolyn mentioned, my name is Olga Mireya López. I'm the Senior Representative in Metro's Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department. We are a unit that is under vendor contract management. And in my unit, in the outreach department, we are responsible for all of Metro's small business programs, which are included of our Metro Connect. Next slide, please. Our commitment in Metro's DEOD department is the growth and success of small businesses. We aim to increase the opportunity for small businesses through various efforts that provide greater access and transparency around the agency's procurement process. In the next several years, we are going to need an almost unimaginable range of products and services, such as architects, builders, contractors, engineers, communicators, truckers, graphic artists, and the list goes on and on. And so we need large and small businesses to help us do the work that taxpayers have entrusted us to do. And that is to build and operate a world-class transportation system in LA County. We are what you would consider your friends on the inside. We have the responsibility of opening the doors to have greater small business participation in our process. Next slide, please. We have, as I mentioned, we are your advocates. We serve as your system navigators, and we administer and oversee the small business program initiatives. We publicize the contract opportunities. We provide trainings, resources. Today is a perfect example of the work, some of the work that we do. We also set goals on DBE, SBE, and DBBE. And very important also, we monitor compliance. Next slide, please. As mentioned, we are under the leadership of our Chief Vendor Contract Management, and our executive officer in DEOD is Miguel Cabral. In the DEOD unit, the outreach team, it's led by our director, Keith Compton. And in this slide, I have included my email and my colleague, Jan Davis, in the event that you need any assistance as you move forward in doing business with Metro. We can definitely connect you with the right staff member. Next slide, please. Here, I have an opportunity to share Metro's vendor basics, how to get connected. And you do this by visiting Metro's vendor portal at metro.net/connect. Next slide. When you get to our vendor portal, you're going to have an opportunity to access the tools that are available for our small businesses and the resources. You will learn about networking events that we host. We have an online toolkit that serves as a resource for small businesses. And you will learn about the certification process. You will also get a presentation very shortly from my colleague and friend. You will also access contract opportunities and the future contract opportunities. This is what the vendor portal will look like. If you've never had an opportunity to visit our vendor portal in the past, or if you haven't registered as a Metro vendor, what you do is you click on that first tab that says Getting Started, click on step number 1, and begin your process in registering as a Metro vendor. Within 24 hours, you can expect to receive confirmation that your vendor profile next slide. And that is the first step in doing business with Metro. We'll also have an opportunity to access the open solicitations. You only in this vendor portal, one of the tabs lists the solicitations that you can access. Next slide, please. How do you obtain information about Metro Connect events? Again, in the vendor portal, calendar of events, Metro Connect, metro.net/connect. It's included in that vendor portal. The next slide, please. And next, I'd like to hand over the presentation to my friend and colleague, Dr. Irma Licea. Dr. Licea is the Director of Certification and Economic Development in DEOD, and she will be presenting to you the Metro certification program and requirements. Doctora, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Olga. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And thank you for joining us today, where we are going to try and do our best to let you know about how to get started and how to do business with Metro. The first thing that I would like to say is to do business with Metro, you're not required to be certified. So certainly you can do business with Metro and not be certified. But if you want to do business with Metro as a small business, then you absolutely must be certified. So I just wanted to go ahead and make that clarification up front. Next slide, please. So why get certified? Well, small business certifications, they're similar to professional certifications. They let the marketplace know what it is that your business provides. It also increases visibility to prime contractors. This is very important because prime contractors, they're required to meet SBE and or DBE utilization goals. And as a certified firm, you're critical to the prime contractor's success in meeting these goals. They cannot get awarded contracts unless they have goals with, that they meet these goals with the small businesses. Additionally, getting certified also helps to level the playing field because it provides small businesses that are owned and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals a fair opportunity to compete for federally and non-federally funded transportation contracts. Next slide, please. Metro currently certifies two types of certifications, and we accept 3. I'm going to talk first about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification, the DBE. The DBE certification is the federal certification. Now, we follow all of the regulation as outlined in CFR 49, Part 26. I also want to make a comment here as well, because when we're doing these presentations, our audience is essentially just primarily Southern California. And I know that this is a national group. So I do just want to say that even if you're in a different state, the DBE requirements that I'm going to speak about are still the same. They're still the same in every state because, as I mentioned, this is the federal program. So I just wanted to be clear so that you know that still would apply to you if you're in a different state. Anyway, so we certify for the DBE certification. We are also a member of the California Unified Certification Program, otherwise known as the CUCP. And that's important to note because as a CUCP member, we have reciprocity with all other CUCP agencies for DBEs. That means, for instance, if you are DBE certified with Caltrans or maybe the city of LA, or whoever else is a CUCP partner, then you would not need to be certified again with Metro for as a DBE. And it's the same with those agencies. If you get certified as a DBE by Metro, then they would also accept that DBE certification. The other certification at Metro is the Small Business Enterprise Certification. Now, our SBE program is unique to Metro. However, it mirrors the DBE program in all aspects except that it is race and gender neutral. We do not accept any other agency's SBE certification. So if you want to be certified with Metro as an SBE, you would definitely need to apply for the SBE. Now, you just heard me say that our program, our SBE program, mirrors the DBE program in all aspects, but that it's race and gender neutral. So essentially, if you qualify for DBE, you would qualify for SBE. It's not the same, if you don't qualify for DBE though, of course you can still qualify for SBE, assuming you meet all of the requirements that I will go through shortly. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that we accept the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Certification. That is known as the DVBE, and we are not the certifying body. The certifying body is the California State Department of General Services. However, if you are certified with them, then we will go ahead and accept that certification. Next slide, please. I think we may have lost the slide. Oh, okay. It looks, are those the only slides available? Oh, all right. There's a number of slides missing here. So basically, there are a number of items that you would need to do to be able to qualify. For instance, you cannot exceed a personal net worth of $1.32 million. That can exclude your primary residence. Additionally, your gross receipts of average of over 3 to 5 years cannot exceed 26.29 million. I say 3 to 5 because currently the federal government is allowing firms to pick between 3 and 5 years. However, effective January of 2022, it will go to 5 years. Next slide, please. I also just wanted to mention that your business must be organized for profit. We don't certify nonprofits. And you have to have at least 51% ownership in the firm. So if you're interested in getting certified, how do you do that? Then you would go to our online certification application system. We are the first agency and still the only agency in California that is online. And we go ahead and take all of the applications have to be submitted online, but it's a great system. It's very user friendly. Like most systems, you will go ahead and create your own login information. You will go, you can start and stop. We certainly encourage you to get started, however, because it takes, we have by regulation 90 days to get you certified, and we certainly don't want you to miss any opportunities. Next slide. So you can access the application on metro.gov2g.com. You can email our unit. You can telephone us. We'd be happy to help you in if you have questions in terms of maybe you're not clear about a form that we're requesting, things like that. We certainly cannot help you or answer any questions in terms of how to structure a business. We can't assist with that, but certainly we can help guide you through the process. Another thing that I just wanted to mention before I in my presentation, again, since this is a national audience, the one thing that I want to make clear is that if you, for DBE, if you're in a different state, you would have to be certified as a DBE in your home state. And then if you wanted to do business in California, then you would apply as an interstate certification. And that generally then would go through Caltrans. However, if you want to be SBE certified with Metro, you can be in a different state and apply for certification with us. So with that, I will go ahead and end my presentation on certification and introduce my colleague, Mr. Jerry Jacobsen, who is a principal in our DEOD department, and he is going to talk about Metro small business programs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's good to see and hear from my colleagues. I know that we've all been sort of adjusting as we've been working through what has been sort of, I guess we call it the post-pandemic, as we, emerging from that space. And I know that many of you may be taking your time out from your day to be with us from your places of work or your businesses. And I just want to say it's great to be able to speak to you in this format. Thank you to Compto for inviting us in, and certainly to Gwen for the introduction. It's very nice. I've known Gwen for several years, and to DeQuery for really organizing, putting this together. So I am Jerry Jacobsen. I'm the principal in the Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department. And specifically, I work in the post-award compliance unit. We call it the PAC unit. And I have experience in working on the management over the setting of goals and over the sort of the beginning to end within the contract compliance spectrum. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But so this is my area of would be talking to you about our small business programs, what we have, the opportunities that we have within Metro, and sort of connecting some of the dots here. So the next slide, please. I'll go over each of these programs, and each one of these are the ones that I think would be most applicable to today's discussion. We have our Small Business Prime, which is our set-aside program that has dollars flowing through it that are both federal and non-federal. I'll explain that in a bit. The Medium-Sized Business Enterprise Program, which is a new, relatively newer program that's getting its legs right now within Metro in terms of its impact, and that's sort of a destination type of a program for those small businesses that are graduating and moving into their next space of capacity. And then our COMP program, which is our contracting, outreach, and mentoring program, and that is specifically, as it says, it's how we mentor and build capacity for small businesses. So let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the Small Business Prime program, I had the opportunity to speak about this at a design build conference recently. And as I said there, and I'll say here, it is sort of the small engine that could, the little engine that could. We're very excited about this program. It continues to move forward. We're now in what's going to be since 2014 now, so we're going to our 7th year with this program. This is our groundbreaking program that we were able to launch, as I said, in 2014. And it is an effort to increase and foster small business participation. Within Metro's programs, you'll see that there is this ongoing need and desire to really grow capacity and to really welcome in and connect more small businesses into our cadre or our pool of small businesses that can contribute to our programs. And as Olga was saying earlier, we have a number of initiatives and a number of projects that are unprecedented in this country that really require small business participation in order to keep them going. There may be a finite number of spaces, but there's a finite number of small businesses, and we need to get infinitely more. And I'll tell you a bit more about that. But anyway, this program, as I said, it was designed to foster small business participation as a response to a requirement by the federal government, specifically through the FTA and the Department of Transportation. And Metro had come up with this, and this is through the leadership in my department. Specifically, I'll mention Tasha Smith, who was one of the architects of this in working under, and again, we have a new CEO that's come into our Metro. I'll be able to congratulate Ms. Stephanie Wiggins, who is our CEO returning to Metro. She helped sort of shepherd this process when she was at Metro years ago as the vendor contract management chief. But this program is designed so that only SBEs can compete against each other. It's a set-aside program, yes, and it was done with the permission of the Department of Transportation. And what it means is that we have projects that are from $3,000 to $5 million. These are federal and non-federal, federally funded contracts that only small businesses can compete. So when Dr. Licea mentioned the certification process, we encourage you, strongly encourage you, please come in and if you're eligible, apply for the certification for an SBE and DBE, and you'll be eligible for this program if you are authorized and you are eligible for certification. This program, and I'll just tell you quickly from soup to nuts how it works, is once you are certified as an SBE, you'll be eligible for a number of different things. First of all of our departments and all of our procurements are mandated to go through this program. So if you are in this spend level, if this contract is within this spend level in the 3,000 to 5 million range, then it will be automatically put through to this program. There are different justifications and waivers that may exempt them, but for the most part, these procurements will go through this process. And what our project management teams are doing within this, within their procurement design, is they're looking for procurements that have at least 3 or more small businesses within any given NAICS code. So we operate, as you'll see, most, and if not all of the DBE programs across the country work with the NAICS codes, which are the North American Industry Classification System codes. So these work codes are what we will base and what we will classify these particular projects under. So if you have, say, for instance, an engineering project within the 54111, I believe, NAICS code, we'll make sure that those are put into the procurement when the solicitation is first designed and when it's advertised, and we will push that out to multiple or all of the SBEs within our database. And as you can see, I mean, we've trying to keep the number of the count here. We've seen this has already impacted us over the amount that you see here. We've now increased that from 125 million to over 170 million, 180 million, as I've seen as the last count. So this is continuing to grow, and they can be any smaller to, from that range, 3,000 to 5 million. When I mentioned the types of projects that we have, something for you to know, we have projects that range from studies, from, I mean, if you think about it, we're like a campus or a university. What is it that you buy? Well, we buy glass. We just had to move out, and we did a targeted outreach to find glass providers and glaziers. We have real estate appraisers. We have, in the pro services side, we have engineering projects. We have an entire pool for IT services that has just been, it's established every few years. We have a bench of contractors that are going for these types of projects. And many of these are now entirely set aside because of the range. We have construction firms. Obviously, that's really what we're really big on in terms of the type of work that we do. What you would put into a project to actually build the project up. Think of all the materials, rebar. I mean, just if you can think of it, we use it. So that's the way that it works. So for you, what's really important, I think, to know is that we need you to come on board and to work with us. There is not a geographic, in terms of your ability to work with us, we don't look at any geographic restrictions. As long as you can do the work and you can do it within the confines of what the contract calls for. But so in terms of steps to take, certainly become certified, look at your NAICS codes and understand what it is that your work, that your firm can perform, the areas that you would like to be considered for, and that you have experience in, and that can actually participate on one of our projects. And in addition to becoming certified and looking at those NAICS code, I like to give the advice to firms out there, please look at our open solicitations. Take a look at them from, there's a 12-month look ahead on the metro.net/business. And also on the Metro Connect site that'll link you to look at what open solicitations that we have. And if you look through them, you'll be able to even toggle one of the boxes, and it'll take you specifically to the SB Prime opportunities. When you look at those, you'll see that there is, one of the top things that's up there is obviously the description of the solicitation, the solicitation number. And then you'll also find that there are the solicitation number. Sorry, I was just checking something. Solicitation number, it'll show the NAICS codes that those specific opportunities are classified under. And then you can match them up, see if do you do this particular type of work? Are you a civil engineering firm that could fulfill this particular need? Now, again, only those that are SBE certified can compete in this space. So it behooves you to come on board and to become certified very, as soon as you can. But in that, it's the wins are great for all of us because we have competition, we have great firms coming on board, and we have enough to fulfill the needs that we have for the upcoming projects that we have. The other thing I would say is when you look at those NAICS codes under the open opportunities, look to see, and you can do this for any other agency as well. I'm just giving you advice for ours at LA Metro, but when you look to see what those opportunities, how they're classified, you'll get a sense of as they say, when in Rome, speak as the Romans do. You'll see what the particular, the way that Metro speaks. There is a culture here in the way that we would classify our projects. And certainly it's like doing a resume, right? If you have fit the bill and that you are a civil engineer and this should be classified, that your contribution and that your ability in your firm matches that NAICS code, certainly let us know, and that would be through certification. Either when you're becoming certified or even after certification, you can apply to get those to get them updated. So that's really the keys of coming into that particular project or that particular program. I like to tell people as well, keep your favorites and in bookmarks on that metro.net/connect or metro.net/business. Either one will take you and guide you through our process and to those open solicitations. But when you look to see those, even on a daily basis, they'll be updated. And some days there'll be 3 or 4 opportunities within the SB Prime space, or there could be upwards of 50. It just depends on where we're at with that. You'll see certainly small opportunities as well, smaller contracts and anywhere from 5,000 to the gamut there. It could be 5,000 to 100,000, but the small contracts add up, right? It's only small when we think small. These are all something that add up to the overall picture, which is Metro's work product. In terms of, let's see. Let's go to one more piece on that with the SB Prime. One of the reasons and one of the best outshoots that we've seen and the results of SB Prime is that in folks coming in and becoming, taking on the prime seat over the project. They are the prime contractor. For many, this may be the first time that they've ever primed a contract with Metro or with any other agency. This has allowed them to leverage that advantage. And as long as they're performing a commercially useful function, which is 30% of the contract value, and that is important for folks to know, the CUF, or the commercially useful function, is key to ensuring that there is no fraud within the program. It's key to our understanding of, or your ability to demonstrate that you are managing, executing, and performing the work. You see those cases out there where people are they're endangering or have even are prosecuted on a federal, state, and local level because they have misrepresented themselves. We want to make sure that you are actually performing the work. So we do CUF checks on all of our projects. But just make sure that you're managing, executing, performing the work. And that means 30% of the contract value is being performed by your agent, by your firm. That's both for all of our programs, state, local, and federal. This is important because that means that 70% of the contract can be subcontracted to large business firms, small business firms, what have you. And so we found that there's a built-in natural mentorship and an ability to leverage relationships there, where we have large business concerns that have managers that are assigned to seek out the small businesses to partner with them. So really, I'd say take advantage of that. Use that to your advantage, and up to 70% of the contract may be subcontracted to non-SBEs. The built-in mentorship that we found has been able to increase capacity for some of our firms, where one had received a contract in the beginning for $3 million, and we got board approval for them to be exponentially increased up to $9 million because they did perform so well. I'm going to go through now to the next slide, please. Medium-sized business enterprise. This is an important program, and it's something it's got a narrow window that we're trying to widen. A lot of these, and all of these programs, they depend on the funding source, and within that we have to design our programs to fit and fulfill the requirements for their procurements. This one is sort of like when you have the baby bird that's about to move out of the nest. We want these baby birds not to just fly or attempt to fly and then flop to the ground. This is to give them wings and help them to fly and to continue and maintain their success track after they are no longer eligible for the small business programs. So for what it may be is the personal net worth or the gross receipts that Dr. Licea had mentioned earlier. If those have been exceeded, then what's the next step, right? So this is something that was designed by Metro CEO at the time, Philip Washington, that would be to ensure that medium-sized businesses could thrive. And you'll see here that it is a set aside of its own, and it does build the bridge, and it applies to non-federally funded RFPs. So these are competitively negotiated contracts for supplies, equipment, materials, professional services between 12 million and 30 million. Keep your eyes on this space, because there will be some modifications coming up that will expand this opportunity. But it's important to know, for those of you who are in this space, that this has been designed for you to help you maintain your success. Now, the one critical piece here is that an MSD firm is not a subsidiary, I'm sorry, of another firm with a 3-year average of 25 million to 250 million maximum gross annual receipts, and a maximum of 250 employees. So you'll see there's more information on our website that tells you a little bit more about that. And as it works is Metro invites firms of any size in, and this one triggers when at least 2 responsive MSD bidders come back to us. And then if there aren't the 2 requirement of 2, the minimum of 2 MSD bidders, then it goes right out to the open market, and anyone we can actually look at and consider any of the other bids or proposals. So the next slide, please. COMP, this is the other program that's very important for Metro contracts and for you as small and medium-sized businesses and large businesses. COMP is exactly as it reads, our contracting, outreach, and mentorship program. And this is a plan where RFPs that are 25 million and up are required to submit a plan. This is for A&E contracts and I'm sorry, for architecture and engineering contracts are exempt, and that's because of some of the rules and laws that regulate those types of contracts. We've since had this opened as well to IFBs. So these are they're non-competitively bid, but they're bid with the lowest, let me start that over again. IFBs, which are bid projects that go to the lowest bidder and not with any other specifications. We have the ability to do that now too. Specifically, and in a nutshell, what this does is comp is it's made to measurably grow the capacity of small businesses so they can move to the next level. And as well, what it does is it specifies that each one of these contracts that are 25 million and over, that they must have a certain number of mentors and mentees that are contributing to the program. And if the size of this, if it's a $1 billion plus project, well, there'll be more. You'll see several. Some of them have, I think, upwards of six or eight mentor-mentee relationships. But it identifies them, at least not only are there mentors and mentees, but it helps them to put together smart goals that will grow their capacity, or maybe it's to expand their NAICS codes. But this is really important for those who are participating today. If you see one of our projects that you think that you would qualify for, please go to the website, look at those particular opportunities that qualify because of the number, right? It's 25 million and up. And you can get the plan holders list by approaching the contract administrator. The plan holders list is the list of those individuals who have expressed interest in that particular solicitation or that particular project. And you can reverse engineer this and contact those individuals, those companies that have shown interest, and tell them, hey, I'm out there. I'm a small business. I can do rebar. I can do your sound engineering, whatever that is that goes into one of these projects. Think of $1 billion project. That's 1,000 million towards a project, and there's the gamut is in that. So this is important if you want to become a mentee. I'm sorry, mentee, as one of within Metro's comp program. Then you would actually approach the large business or whatever size it is that's proposing, and put your card out there, put your name out there. You have direct access. We don't put those together. We require that those large business concerns, medium business concerns, that they reach out to you and have an outreach event at least 30 days before the actual solicitation is due. I'm looking at my time here and making sure it says, I think I have to, I'm going to wrap this portion, but in a nutshell, I would say for all of these programs, you see how the introduction that was done just today with Olga demonstrating what doors are open, the way to get in with our portal. That is I think one of the most robust I've seen in the country. Then you see our certification process that Dr. Licea has mentioned. That is really, it's profoundly, it's changed the way that we see people coming on with certifications. It's so much easier and so user-friendly. And then here are the programs that it would feed into. And we look forward to your participation with us. We need you in order to succeed. So that's my presentation. Back to you, Katwiri. Oh, here's a chart. I guess I didn't realize this was here, but this shows you the different small businesses programs that we have that I discussed, and you'll be able to review that and see that in the material that's going to be made available to you after this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all. So now we have our question and answer session. So please feel free, if you have any questions, to put them in the Q&A box, and our presenters will answer those questions as you have. So feel free. Once again, we have a Q&A box, and that is where you can place your questions. So once again, I'd like to thank Jerry Jacobsen, Dr. Irma Licea, and also Olga López. They are ready to answer any questions you may have. So we'll wait a few seconds and see if we have any come through.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like we have one question coming through. Okay, so this question comes from Martina Dara. Can a DBE firm from outside of California be part of CUCP?
I'll go ahead and take that. You can be certified in California, but if you're not from California for DBEs, you have to first be certified in your home state. And then what happens is after you're certified in your home state, then you have to go through interstate certification. So once you're certified with your home state, then you would you would come to the whichever state it would be, whether it be California or any other state, you would go to that state, and usually it's the Department of Transportation for that state that handles the interstates. So for instance, for us in California, generally Caltrans handles interstate certifications. So yes, you can be DBE certified in California, but you do first have to be DBE certified in your home state.
Okay, so we have another question from Philip Haley. I'm sorry, I was on mute. This another question comes from Philip Haley. For the comp program, have you considered having SBE firms sign up to be mentees rather than have them contact the larger primes? Sometimes the larger primes are hard to get through or non-responsive. Would anyone like to handle that question?
I can take that one. So it sounds like you're asking if we would consider a SBE or a small business enterprise to sort of take the role of the as a mentor within the comp program. That's an interesting question, and I know that we have had the occasion where small businesses have been either as part of a structured comp program where they have come together in a joint venture, per se, in a partnership, and they have an executive role within the, as a joint venture partner. They have an executive role within that particular prime relationship, and they have served as mentors within this capacity. Our director is Keith Compton, and he's over that particular program. And it's something I can certainly take back to him, but he would be the key contact for that in terms of any sort of advancement of that concept. But it does happen for sure within these programs. It's meant for the larger businesses to really assist with whatever that the small businesses would need in order to grow. But certainly that has happened in an interesting twist there. Yes.
Okay, so we're okay. Looks like we have one more question coming in. So I'm not quite sure. Philip had I don't know if you can check out the Q&A, but Philip had some other follow-ups. I don't know if you want to take that offline. It seems like it's a little bit more involved than we have time for right now.
Okay.
All right. So
that is not the question. As part of your comp presentation, you mentioned that the firms could pull the plan list and then reverse engineer to find a larger prime to work with. Okay, yes. So just to, I guess, to further, and I can talk to you a little bit about that offline, but as well, just for some clarification, the plan holders list, you can actually go to our website, look at the solicitation as it's open, and it'll list various pieces of information, the solicitation number, it'll list the contract administrator, it'll list a number of things and the NAICS codes, but there you can contact the CA, the contract administrator. They're the only person that you should contact while it's what we call in blackout, and they will be able to get you the list. It would be an Excel spreadsheet format that gives you the name, contact information, email information of all those firms who've expressed interest in downloading that particular project. That's, to me, it's a direct marketing tool that you can use to approach these those that are interested in proposing on our projects.
thank you, Jerry. So Philip, what you can do if you have any additional questions, send them to info@compto.org. That's info@comto.org. And we'll connect you with the LA Metro team if you have any further questions. And so it looks like we don't, we have a little bit more time. I'm going to just try to open the question Q&A box for maybe another minute. But if there are any other questions while we're waiting, I don't know if our team at LA Metro has anything else they'd like to add before we wrap up things.
I'd just say we're excited to have been here. I'm really looking forward to the leadership of Stephanie Wiggins, the CEO, returning. She's such a proponent of this program. I think my colleagues would agree. She's a proponent of minority businesses and agencies in participation with professionals such as you. So we're really looking forward to working with all of you that can bring something of benefit to Metro. And hopefully we can benefit you back.
So someone says, thank you, very informative. Thank you for that comment. And it looks like we don't have any other questions. With that, Gwen, if you're still on, if you wanted to do any closing remarks, we're ready for that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what a wealth of information that was provided today to our audience. So we really appreciate LA Metro coming out, showing up today and providing that. Thank you, presenters. We truly appreciate your time. You know, Compto and all of us truly appreciate. Thank you to our audience taking time out your schedule to participate in our Hub Subcommittee events and webinars. And thank you to the Hub Subcommittee for doing a fantastic job as we move forward, looking out for our small businesses, looking for ways to enhance their skills, their ability, help them out with training and development. So thank you so very much. And I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I keep putting myself on mute. So,
Okay.
so I'm just, yes, I'm here. I'm here.
I have to give the other shouts out to my bosses too, Mr. Miguel, Mr. Miguel. Miguel, I really want to say that we have Deborah Avila, who is our chief of vendor contract management. And she's been very much a proponent of these programs as well. You see her name out there, as well as and I think you have the information there, but yes, Miguel has been one of the greatest executive officers that's been working with us and supportive of these particular initiatives as well. So thank you. Miguel Cabral is the executive officer over DEOD, and you've seen their names earlier on in the presentation, but wanted to just give them props because they're the ones that really support us and being able to come here to speak to you.
So once again, we'd like to thank our LA Metro presenters who joined us today, as well as also our the LA Metro team members who were in the audience. And as Gwen stated earlier, we'd also like to thank our Hub Subcommittee, which is led by herself, who is the chair, and also her co-chair, Sandy Michael McDonald. And as you can see, our Hub Subcommittee is all over the country in different cities. So we're everywhere. And as far as upcoming Compto events, from September 28th through the 30th, we will have our Compto 50th anniversary virtual national meeting and training conference. And if you'd like more information about the Hub Subcommittee, our events calendar, or information about becoming a Compto member, please visit comptonational.org. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for joining us, and we will be closing the Zoom out. Have a great afternoon and a great weekend. Thank you.